It's 5 minutes with me.
Hey, friends, welcome to another episode of 5 Minutes with Marko. We might go 5.5 today. We're going to talk about 4 practices of great parent ministry. I really believe there are these 4 practices. You might even consider them 4 commitments that every youth worker should be living into when it comes to parents of teenagers. And when I say every youth worker, I mean it, young and not yet a parent, all the way through seasoned and experienced at parenting yourself, volunteer youth workers, all the way through to paid full-time youth workers. I'm a volunteer youth worker with about 3 hours per week to give to the youth ministry at my church. And most of that time gets taken up by leading my 8th grade guys small group. So I have very little time left for all the other aspects of youth ministry I'm trying to live into, including parent ministry. But I'm still committed to these 4 practices. My activity level on these will look very different from a full-time youth worker's, of course, but the commitment to the practices should be the same. The first practice, listen. You may have heard the saying, showing up is 80% of life. In a similar way, I'd suggest that 50% of the parent ministry pie is listening. Most parents of teenagers are afraid. This means that it's more common than not for parents to be unsure of your willingness to listen unless you do 2 things. Communicate over and over and over again that you're available to listen and want to listen, and then focus on the task at hand and give your undivided attention anytime a parent takes you up on this offer. The second practice is communicate. This one might surprise you, as I'm talking about the effective and regular and clear communication of information about your youth ministry that parents need in order to parent well. Yes, this is partnering well with parents, and it's the next 30% of the parent ministry pie. Notice we're at 80% of the pie already, and we haven't even gotten to training programs. Parenting teenagers freaking hard. And the last thing we need is incomplete or inaccurate information. Getting your schedule planned long in advance, getting dates and prices communicated multiple times. These are key aspects of good parent ministry. When you say you'll be home from the retreat at 3 p.m. on Sunday and you run into a major traffic jam that's going to cause you to be an hour late, you better have a way of getting the word out to parents, or you're choosing to actively alienate them. Great communication builds trust. Lousy or late communication destroys it. The third practice is equip. Here's the part you expected, but note that it's only 15% of the parent ministry pie. This aspect of parent ministry could include everything from parent training events to a resource library to a support or prayer group to a regular email with insights and links. Parents are busy and stressed out in our culture, so the days of offering something that all parents will participate in or use are mostly past us in most contexts. The key is to offer options that will help parents in your context. Often this means offering multiple options, allowing parents to opt into what they have time for or interest in. As a volunteer with very little time to give to parent ministry, I'm still committed to this practice in my church. My church offers other options like occasional parenting seminars, but since I'm already committed to the previous practice, communicating, and send out an email to the parents of the guys in my small group about every 2 months, I always include a little equipping in that email copy. I'll write a paragraph about young teen development, or share a bit about how middle school guys form friendships, or I'll suggest a book or share a couple links to online articles I think they might find helpful. Ask parents what they would find helpful. Experiment. Don't freak out when only 20% of your parents attend something you offer. Be happy for those 20%. Refine and revise and try additional ideas. Finally, the fourth practice is invite involvement. When I was the parent of a teenager, one thing my church provided that really helped me be a better dad was the opportunity to be involved in ministry to teenagers. Not every parent in your church has the time or gift mix to be involved as a small group leader or camp counselor or even food provider, but some do. And offering this option to them is a beautiful aspect of parent ministry, even though it's only the 5%, the final 5% of the parent ministry pie. Don't buy into the lie that only young adults should be involved as youth ministry leaders, by the way. Having a mix of people, young and middle-aged and old, is always better. So there you have it. Listen, communicate, equip, and invite involvement. Which of those do you need to take steps on this week?
The Youth Cartel Podcast Network.